Good evening, everybody. Welcome to NASR. I'm Billy DiNapoli. 6:15 Eastern Standard Time here in New England. Welcome. Monday, January 12th, preempting the 8:15 kickoff in the NFL playoffs for the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Texans are a 3-point favorite currently at Pittsburgh tonight. We're going to go over the games from yesterday. We'll go over my pick segment, which again was less than stellar. We gave out 5 picks on the show yesterday. We did post one on our socials, on our DraftKings page. Yesterday, we went 3-3 overall. We had the Jaguars -1.5. We know that was a loser. Josh Allen once again put on his Superman cape and led the Buffalo Bills to a 27-24 victory. We also had the Philadelphia Eagles -6 straight. That was a loser. We had the Patriots -3.5. That was a winner. We also had the Bills and Niners in a teaser. That was a winner. We also, on our socials, through our DraftKings page, we gave out the Bills and the Patriots. It's a teaser. That was a winner. And we also gave out the Eagles and the Chargers in a teaser. Again, I rode with the Eagles twice, and I lost there. 3-3. We didn't make up any ground as we go 3-6 on the weekend. Because as we discussed on Saturday, we discussed Sunday morning, that I bombed out Saturday because of the freaking Los Angeles Rams. And I tell you guys this all the time, yet I'm guilty of it. You never want to consume too many picks with the same team. So if you really love a team, maybe pick them once straight or pick them once in a teaser. But once you love them too much and you put them in the 2 teasers or a teaser or a parlay and then straight, you put them in 3 bets, well, if they get upset, you lose all 3. That happened to me on 2 plays with the Eagles yesterday, because I didn't think there was any way that the Eagles were going to lose a game to a team coming in with all the injuries the 49ers had. They're basically playing guys off the street on defense, linebackers that had just been with the team for a couple of weeks. They got no Ayuk, no Pearsall. Their 1 and 2 wide receivers are out. Then they lose Kittle again, who had just come back. They lose Kittle to an Achilles. He's out for the rest of the season, but he goes out early in the game. I mean, Brock Purdy sliced up the Eagles, basically throwing to 3rd and 4th string tight ends, Jawan Jennings and Christian McCaffrey. That was it. McCaffrey is most viable weapon, yet he sliced and diced that vaunted Eagles defense that was supposed to be so great. The defending world champs are done. Homeward bound after a 23-19 loss at home to the visiting 49ers. So I didn't think in any world were the Niners winning that game. Maybe they kept it close, which is why I backed myself up with a teaser, meaning all the Eagles had to do was win the game. I also did like them straight. I figured they'd win the game by a touchdown, but they are upset. And Nick Sirianni and the offensive coordinator, who name's escaping me at the moment, but that's not important, he should be fired. Ever since they lost Kellen Moore, their offense is unimaginative, and watching them try to run their offense, especially when they're in passing situations, it's painful. Watching them try to go downfield and strike plays downfield against any defense this season has been painful. Everything's a dink and a dunk, and when Saquon Barkley is running great and that offensive line is pushing the pile, the Eagles do well. But when they've been asked to make plays downfield this year, it just hasn't been there. You got A.J. Brown, and he should be, they should just get rid of him. He is a pain in the ass. He's a nuisance. I know he's a Hall of Fame talent, and I know they've won a Super Bowl with him, and I know he's got probably Hall of Fame credentials. That little nuisance will probably end up in Canton. But he is problematic. He's problematic. I just think he's not good for the locker room. He's once again fighting with his coach when he's not calling out his quarterback. He wants the ball all the time. Well, he got the ball. He got plenty of looks yesterday. He also made a couple of huge drops that could have sealed the deal for the Eagles. Anytime he was called on and had the ball in his hands in a big spot, he dropped it. He dropped it. We'll get to all that. So, Jags loser, Eagles loser, Eagles Chargers loser, Bills Niners teaser winner, Pat Straits winner, Bills Patriots teaser winner. 3-3 yesterday. We had the Rams in 3 plays on Saturday. Rams straight, Rams Packers teaser, and Rams Bears teaser. And of course, I'd have won all of them if the Rams had just won the freaking game. All they had to do was win the game by 5 points. They were given 10. All I needed them to do was win by 5. I had them on 3 plays and they burned me. That's how you go 3-6 on a weekend. You have too many plays with the same team. I tell you guys not to do it, but because I'm chasing this win-loss title in our silly pick segment contest, I want to try to be over 500. I'm screwing myself. You don't chase plays. Anyway, that puts us at 72, 77, and 1 in the NFL after a 3-6 week. Previous 2 weeks, we went 6-3 and 5-4. But we had a 1-7 week a few weeks ago, and we've never recovered, and now we have a 3-6 week. So all not well in our NFL pick segment. I hope you guys are having fun watching it as much as I have fun doing it. We have kicked ass in college. We're 38, 29, and 2, hitting at almost 60% in college, and we are 5-0 in college in the last 2 weeks. I don't know what the difference is, but I seem to have a better eye for the college game this year. Anyway, let's go over some of the action again. Now, we went over everything on Sunday morning from Saturday. You guys know how unimpressed I was with the Rams defense as they made Bryce Young look like freaking Michael Vick. They made him look like Patrick Mahomes at points. Their conversions on third downs and their ability to score when they needed to was alarming. It took a come from behind Matthew Stafford, third touchdown of the night, to tight end Cody Parkinson late in the game to overtake the Panthers 34-31. And although their offensive numbers were great, as again, Stafford over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, Bryce Young threw for like 264 yards, and it seemed like on third downs, he's throwing to guys named McMillan and 2 wide receivers most people have never heard from, and the Rams made them look good. Who were the wide receivers? You couldn't even name me the starting wide receivers for the Carolina Panthers. You couldn't even name them. You couldn't even name them for me. I'd give you a minute to look it up, but I'm going to tell you, the kid McMillan, number 4, he just seemed like any time they needed a first down on third down play, he was there. They had a guy, Jalen Coker, okay? Jalen Coker, who is a third-year kid out of Holy Cross, catch 9 balls for 134 yards and a touchdown, and Tate McMillan had 5 for 81, and these guys seemed like they were open whenever Carolina needed to make a play. So I'm bringing this up because if it takes a late touchdown freaking pass to Cody Parkinson to just get by Carolina, who had already beaten you, what has happened to the Rams defense? We know they're good in the front 7. We know their secondary was a little suspect. They did make a pickup. They picked up a DB from the Titans on the back end of safety. I thought maybe that would help them. But they're very susceptible, and normally I would have said, now they go into Chicago to play the Bears in the cold weather. Now, normally on an even playing field, I would love the Rams over the Chicago Bears, but now I don't know. Caleb Williams, he's putting up big numbers, although he struggles for the simple layup, as you would call it, the simple play Caleb sometimes misses or overthrows or is off target on the easy throws, and yet he makes all the hard throws. And his completion ratio is always around 50 to below 60% lately, which isn't great for an NFL quarterback, but you look up, it's 2 or 3 touchdowns, it's 350, it's 360 yards. He's making the big plays. He's an exciting rookie, and everybody's excited in Chicago as they beat their arch rivals, the Green Bay Packers, and now will host the Rams in the next round. We went over that game. Super exciting. Basically, the Packers, who will retain Matt LaFleur as head coach, the Packers lost this game because they got a little conservative in the second half. I mean, they handed the ball off to Josh Jacobs 7 out of 18 plays to start their drives in the second half. And on the 7 carries, he totaled 2 yards on 7 carries. He had 6 carries for 0 yards. He had 7 carries for 2 total yards. They got a little conservative, but that being said, he makes the play to Golden for the touchdown to go up 27-16. The Packers lost this game because their kicker missed 2 field goals and an extra point. If they had those 7 points, the lead would have been too much for the Bears to overcome. You leave a window open, you don't play your best football, you're on the road. That's what happens. You gave up 7 free points, you left the door open, and the Bears drove right through it. Kudos to them. Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, they all, and Colston Loveland, that amazing rookie tight end. Kudos to the Chicago Bears. They will now host the Rams. Now, like I said, 5 weeks ago, I would have said, I thought the Rams were winning the division. I would have said, no way on an even playing field that this game is even close, Rams-Bears. But now, the way the Rams defense has played, I see them struggle to beat the 8-9 Carolina Panthers, who had already beaten them once. I mean, they almost got beat twice by the Panthers. The Rams defense is not impressive. And I'm just going to say, I don't know who I like yet. I'm not overly confident. I'm sure that once I look at the spread, I'm sure the Rams will probably be favored, I'd say, by 1.5, 2. We'll look at that after we get through tonight's game. But I'm not overconfident. I do think, though, if the Rams get by Chicago, I think they'll make it to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to go with that because if you guys remember when we first came on the air in August, in the summer, I did pick the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams. The first week of college football, week 0, the week before Labor Day, I laid out all my picks. We're going to go back and look at all of them, too, when this is all over. All my division picks, the over and unders from the beginning of the season. It's fun to go back and look and see how accurate I was. But I did pick the Buffalo Bills and Los Angeles Rams to make it to the Super Bowl, and I guess I'm going to ride with that. I'm going to stick with it. So the Bears advance. They'll host the Rams next week. We know how the Rams squeaked out their come-from-behind win against Carolina. Getting to yesterday's games, the Buffalo Bills defeat the Jags 27-24. And again, it was the Josh Allen show. I mean, all I'm going to say is this. I'm not going to kill the Jaguars. They did play a good game. And, you know, when Trevor Lawrence left the field, he was up 24-20. Their defense, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the guy on the field as Josh Allen was leading the Bills from behind and, takes a lead with a minute and a half left in the game. You could have stopped them. I mean, this loss to me is on the Jags defense. You could have stopped them. Trevor Lawrence throws a touchdown pass, and at that point, he throws a touchdown pass to Parker Washington. Who caught the last touchdown? Was it Thomas? No, Thomas caught the first one. Etienne caught the... Yeah, it was Parker Washington, I believe, got the last one. So, Parker Washington, another great game for the Jags, by the way. 7 for 107 and a touchdown. Etienne had a great game. He rushed 10 times for 70 yards. He also caught 5 balls for 49 yards and a touchdown. He was spectacular. And listen, Trevor Lawrence, 18 of 30, 207, 3 touchdowns, but the 2 picks are what killed him. The 2 picks are what killed him. Now, one was a deflected ball, but the last play of the game that sealed the deal, where he is picked off on their final possession, he's looking for, he was looking for Jacoby Myers, who only had 1 catch for 12 yards. He's looking for Jacoby Myers. He's pretty well covered. Was there another place for him to go with the ball? I don't know. But I'll say this. When he left the field, he was up 24-20 and had thrown 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. And he was having a damn good game. It sucks for Trevor Lawrence that he throws the pick in that deciding moment. But listen, they had no timeouts left. They were down to about a minute left. But then they have a kicker who holds the record for their kicker Little's 68-yard field goal is the NFL record. So they didn't have to go far to get in field goal range to tie the game. So I felt terrible that Lawrence threw that pick because he had such a great game. I mean, a season and a good game. He had a good game and he had a great season. And I felt terrible for him. I really did. He was picked off by, who picked him off to seal the deal? Cole Bishop had one of the picks, and Shaq Thompson had the other pick. I want to say it was Bishop who had the final pick to seal the deal for the Bills. But yeah, it was a tough break for for Jacksonville, as they just could not stop. They could not stop Josh Allen. He leads them on the final drive. They go 72 yards. Josh Allen, 28 of 35, 273, 1 touchdown on the game. Cook, 15 carries for 46 yards. Allen, 11 for 33, but 2 big touchdowns, including that 10-yard. They did a tush push that went 11 yards straight, and then on the next play, he barreled over from a yard out. He had 2 touchdowns like that in tush push fashion. And listen, Shakir, 12 catches for 82 yards. Shakir's a 3rd wide receiver, maybe a 2. Brandon Cooks, they pulled off the scrap heap, 3 catches, 58 yards. Coleman had 1 big catch for 36 on one of their scoring drives earlier in the game. But he's throwing to shavers. Gabe Davis, 2 catches for 14. Gabe Davis caught 12 balls all year. All year. Shavers, 1 catch for 14. What's he caught? 10 passes all year? Not a lot of weapons, and Josh Allen makes these guys a factor. They just got Brandon Cooks a few weeks ago. He had 3 big catches in the game in crucial moments for 58 yards. He's almost 20 yards of reception. And Shakir looks like a great number 2. Originally, he was a 3rd, 4th slot receiver. 12 catches, 82 yards. That's all Josh Allen. He makes players around him better. Because, they only rushed the ball for 79 yards in the game. So they leaned on Allen like they so often do. They got the 2 big turnovers, the 2 picks by Trevor Lawrence, and the Bills advance to play the 1-seeded Denver Broncos with their 27-24 victory. Tough for the Jags again. I really thought at 24-20, 24-20, when they scored that touchdown, I saw there was 4 minutes left in the game, and I said, oh boy, 4 minutes is too much to give Josh Allen. But you know what? You could have stopped him. Your defense has played well all year, and that is the time to step up, and they didn't. Listen, after the... another thing with these touchbacks, I hate these freaking touchbacks in the NFL. You get the ball at the 35-yard line, and, you only really need to travel 30 yards to be in field goal range. They need to get rid of these touchbacks. They need to put them back to the 25-yard line. I know they want the exciting return, so they force the kickers to pooch the kick and make them return it. But every time the ball goes into the end zone, it's at the 35-yard line. They need to move the touchbacks back to the 25-yard line. Guys like Josh Allen and, Patrick Mahomes in his prime and, all these young stud quarterbacks. They don't need short fields. You got Matthew Staffords, and then you got all these young kids coming in like Caleb Williams. You don't need to give these guys Drake May. These guys don't need a 65-yard field. Move those touchbacks back to the 25-yard line. The last thing you want to do is give Josh Allen a short field, I'll tell you that. What was the final drive? I want to find that out. So it was I was right. See, I said 65 yards. It wasn't from the 35-yard line. It was a 9-play, 66-yard drive led by Josh Allen, obviously culminating with his 1-yard keeper with a minute and 13 seconds left, sealing the victory. A 36-yard pass to Brandon Cooks on a 4th down conversion is what was the big play in that drive. Converting a 4th down play to Brandon Cooks, a guy that was sitting on his couch freaking 8 weeks ago. Okay? It was 6 weeks ago. When did they get Brandon Cooks back? He had played for the Cowboys. Then he was on the Saints again. Then he was, I don't think he started the season with any team. And around mid-season, the Saints signed him. The Bills signed him. They signed him mid-season, but I don't recall seeing him on the field till about 6 weeks ago. So another guy they pull off the scrap heap who once was a stellar wide receiver, and Josh Allen just makes everybody around him better. All right, so the Bills will advance to Denver. Tough loss for the Jags. They had a great season. Liam Cohen, you get one of my votes for Coach of the Year. Either you or Ben Johnson of the Bears or Mike Vrabel. Those are your 3 contestants for Coach of the Year. Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, or Liam Cohen of the Jags. They had a great year. Unfortunately, your defense couldn't stop Superman in those final 4 minutes when they had the opportunity. And, of course, tough pick for Lawrence. Wasn't a bad throw. Guy was just, had good coverage, made the play. And listen, that happened on, they got the ball back. The Jaguars got the ball back. The return wasn't great. They started at their own 23. But with their kicker, they were probably 35 yards away from tying the game with a field goal. Their guy hit a 68-yarder. You don't want to bank on that. He did miss a 54-yarder already during that game. But he was one for 2 in the game. He had already missed a 54-yarder. But I would think if the Jaguars had gotten to the 40-yard line, a 57, 58-yarder was right in his wheelhouse. So, they only needed to get another. They started the drive at the 23. They needed about 37 yards for him to be in field goal range. A makeable field goal range for him, for Little. And it didn't happen. Didn't happen because Lawrence actually, the go-ahead touchdown 24-20 was to Etienne. The first touchdown he threw of the day was to Thomas. The second one was to Parker Washington, the fabulous third-year kid that they have, who has really blossomed this year, had a great season for them. Went from a number 3 to really a number 1 the way he played. Parker Washington's touchdown put them up 17-13 as the leads changed hands over and back and forth and back and forth. You had, I think, 4 lead changes in the second half. So Thomas had the first touchdown. Parker Washington's touchdown made it 17-13. And Etienne's touchdown, which was a flip down the right sideline that he broke a tackle into the end zone. That was with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining, and that put Jacksonville up 24-20 with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. And again, they could not hold him. They could not hold him. They could not hold Superman Josh Allen as he put on his cape and led the Buffalo Bills to victory. I don't know, will he be able to do it again? Like I said, he makes these guys. Gabe Davis, who did hurt his knee now, and he'll be out too. Guy caught 12 freaking balls all season, and he had a big playoff game for them. Made a couple of big catches. Not a big game. He had a couple of clutch catches, and then he hurt his knee, and then he was out of the game. But, I mean, these are the guys he's throwing to. Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis, Brandon Cooks, who once was a great wide receiver, but he's kind of on the back end. I mean, these are the guys that he has to work with. And Cook did not have a good day running the football. If James Cook doesn't run the football well, they don't have a chance in Denver. But you know what? I am never counting Josh Allen out again. I bet Jacksonville straight. Now, I did think the game was going to be close, and I did put the Bills in 2 teasers, which saved my ass. Otherwise, I would have been looking at a 1-5 day. But the Patriots didn't disappoint. I had them straight in a teaser. Again, 3-6 for the week, but 3-3 yesterday as I tried to pad some picks together. 9 picks in a weekend is probably way too much. You want to consolidate. Colin Cowherd does a blazing 5. A lot of these talk show hosts, they do their top 4 picks of the week. In gambling, the more you gamble, the more picks you make, the bigger opportunity to stumble. Which is why you're best served to pick a few of your top selections. But, when you're chasing a win-loss total, because it's so important to me that I want to be over 500 at the end of the season. Now, if I was doing that with money, and believe me, I did have a bad day with the book yesterday too. I definitely lost some money yesterday, over the weekend that is. 3-6 isn't going to get it done, and I'm pretty sure I put money on all my picks this weekend. 3-6 is not going to get it done. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I got the... Yeah, no, I did. I did get the Bills and Patriots teaser in time. Because I picked that early. I picked Bills Niners early. I picked Bills Patriots early. I picked Pat straight on the show as well as the other 4 picks. But I didn't have the Pats with my book, and I fired it just at kickoff. But I still went 3-6 over the weekend, and my guy is going to be collecting some money from me this week. Anyway, and I also use DraftKings, and I also use FanDuel because we support and push and endorse responsible gambling on these very entertaining sites. I favor DraftKings. That's the one we push here. I do utilize FanDuel as well, but we push DraftKings. DraftKings is our favorite gambling app by choice. DraftKings, fun stuff. Okay, moving on. The Niners, as we went into before, the San Francisco 49ers, a MASH unit, okay? A MASH unit walks in to Philly and defeats the Eagles, okay? I mean, if you're the Eagles, you got to be sick to your stomach losing a game like that to this depleted outfit. I mean, kudos to Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, some people love him. Some people think he's maybe a little too small, undersized. I think Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback, and he's a gamer. I swear, the Niners have the worst luck with injuries constantly. I mean, listen, they would have beaten the Chiefs the first time they played them in the Super Bowl. Garoppolo I'm going to forget the receiver's name, but he had a wide receiver wide open, and he just overthrew him in that fourth quarter before the Chiefs came back and won, and Shanahan would have had his title. And then, they go into the NFC Championship one year, and Purdy hurts his arm, and he can't play in the game. He hurts his arm early in the game, and then the backup quarterback gets hurt, and they're playing the game with a third-string quarterback. That was the NFC Championship. Then it just seems last year they were depleted by injuries. This year they're depleted by injuries. They always seem to have a major rash of injuries on their roster, and a lot of that is probably because the Niners play physical. I mean, they have a physical style of play. They smack you in the mouth. That's the way that they play. And they have often been the victim again this year. They're 13-5 with all these injuries. They could have had a Super Bowl contending year if they stayed healthy. If they had Ayuk in the lineup, and a healthy Kittle, and a healthy Warner, and a healthy Bosa on defense, they would be one of the contenders to win the whole thing. Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. He never gets a break. He never gets a break with the injuries. He should have easily had won a Super Bowl by now. And, they lose the close game in overtime against the Chiefs the second time around. Don't blame Brock Purdy. He was winning when he left the field. So, yeah, I'm a Purdy guy. He's a gamer, and I loved how they went in and just... Kyle Shanahan, they coach circles around the Eagle coaching staff. I couldn't remember before. Kevin Petula is the offensive coordinator who should be on his way out. They have been confused on offense all year. Now, when they're healthy, they can bully ball you because they got that big offensive line. But their big offensive lineman, Johnson, they thought he'd play. He didn't play. When he plays, they have a way better record. They couldn't bully ball their way through the Niners. They did have the lead, 19-17, late in the game, and they had opportunities to score touchdowns instead of field goals, and they just couldn't convert. Watching the Eagles try to orchestrate their passing offense was painful. Painful to watch. Them trying to make a play downfield, it looked like the impossible dream. Yes, Saquon was great, rushed for over 100 yards. Let's get to some of the numbers here. Let's get to the numbers. All right. 20 of 35, 168, and one touchdown for Hurts. Nothing spectacular. Now, Saquon, on the other hand, was spectacular. 26 carries for 106 yards. Bigsby was 4 for 19. Hurts also ran 5 times for 15 yards. Even Dallas Goedert punched in a touchdown on a goal line run that he got where he just basically lined up, went in motion, and did like a jet sweep into the end zone from 1 yard out. So, listen, the Eagles, they had everything in there. They had this game 13-10 at half. They had it 16-10 in the third quarter, but again, settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. Their red zone offense, which has been good during the season, 70%, they just struggled. They struggled to make any plays downfield against a depleted Niners defense with no pass rush. But listen, the Niners they had a great play where Jennings on an end around wide receiver pass to Christian McCaffrey from 29 yards out. McCaffrey 15 of 48, but also 6 for 66 and 2 touchdowns in the air. Demarcus Robinson, another retread wide receiver on the Niners side of things, talking about all the retreads the Buffalo Bills employ and underlings that Josh Allen makes spectacular. Robinson's had a little bit of since coming into the lineup because of injuries, 6 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown yesterday. And I'm going to be honest, he's played well when called upon. And, Brock Purdy gets a lot of credit for that because obviously Demarcus Robinson is now 31, almost 32 years of age. He's seen better days. Used to be a stud, but now he don't got a lot of tread left on that tires. But he did yesterday, 6 catches for 111 and a touchdown. Again, we told you McCaffrey, 6 for 66 and 2 touchdowns. Kyle Juszczyk, the big fullback, 4 for 49. Jawan Jennings, 1 for 45, but he also had the big touchdown pass of 29 yards. Kittle had 1 catch for 6 yards before he went out with an injury. Again, Purdy, 18 of 31, 262, 2 TDs. He did throw 2 picks, and you know what? The Eagles did nothing with those 2 turnovers. But when Brock Purdy had to drive them down the field for the game-winning score, or anytime the Niners needed to score, Purdy was able to march them the length of the field and get it done, which is more than I could say for the Eagles. Devontae Smith had 8 catches for 70 yards for Philly. Goddard 4 for 33 and a touchdown, and that was about it. A.J. Brown 3 for 25, and he was targeted 8 times, and he had 2 bad drops. You could almost say 3, but 2 were definitely drops that he should have caught. The Eagles did get 2 interceptions in the game from Quinyon Mitchell, and you would thought that they would have been able to. All they got after those 2 interceptions was a field goal. That's all they were able to convert out of those 2 turnovers, 3-point. Again, Kevin Patullo should be the first guy fired. And then you got A.J. Brown arguing with Sirianni on the sidelines. Now, Sirianni's got to get some shit for this. They rested their players the final week against Washington. Their offense has struggled with cohesion all year, and they had just won 3 in a row. Maybe that wasn't the time to give everybody a timeout and a breather and a nice extra week off. Maybe that wasn't the time for it. Maybe they should have went in firing on all cylinders and continued to work on the offense that week. They also gave up the number 2 seed by throwing that game, which is the reason why they had to play the 49ers with a very game Brock Purdy. Now, you would have got the Packers, but the Packers with no Micah Parsons and a defense that's not very good. I don't know, I guess careful what you wish for. Maybe they could have lost to Green Bay as well. But he did choose to rest all his players, and offense looked very out of sync. And I heard former Eagle great Seth Joyner just destroying Sirianni for doing that because they didn't play well. So that's it. A terrible, terrible job as Kyle Shanahan coaches circles around the Eagles coaching staff. A stagnant offense and a defense that was supposed to be the best, one of the best defenses in football. I mean, you got the Texans, you got the Broncos, you got the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Seahawks. Those are your top 4 defenses in football, and the Eagles were healthy. They were healthy in this game, and they still couldn't get it done. Outfoxed by the Niners on that genius end-around play for the touchdown pass by Jennings to McCaffrey, and unable to stop the Niners as they drove down the field for the game-winning drive, and they drove the length of the field. Unable to stop that. Fully healthy were the Eagles' defense. Kudos to Brock Purdy, a gamer. 23-19. That ends the Philadelphia Eagles season. 23-19. Now the Niners will travel to play the Seattle Seahawks for the 3rd time this season. Again, I told you the Buffalo Bills in the AFC will travel to play the Broncos. Tonight's winner of Houston and Pittsburgh will travel to play the Patriots, where we'll end this segment with the New England Patriots defeating the Los Angeles Chargers last night. Now listen, I'm going to say this. It's clear the Chargers were not healthy. They're missing their 2 tackles. And actually, if you looked at their starting lineup from the beginning of the season, they're missing 3 out of their 5 offensive linemen. Justin Herbert took a beating in this game. I never saw a quarterback get hit so much, and, well, I probably have, but he got hit a ton, and the hits were vicious. They were vicious. I mean, he was getting twisted and turned and smashed and crashed and wincing in agony and pain. You started to feel sorry for Herbert. He was getting hit so much. Josh was only 19 of 31 for 159 yards. No touchdowns. He didn't get much help. They didn't do much on offense whatsoever. Drake May, 17 of 29, 268. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Wasn't his fault. It was a batted down ball that the Chargers recovered at the 10-yard line. A batted ball in the air that they were able to intercept. They had a 1st down at the 10-yard line of New England, and they could not score. And listen, this is where I want to get on the all these coaches, not just Harbaugh. The amount of 4th downs that are attempted nowadays when teams are in field goal range, and if you're the Chargers, knowing your offensive limitations, you have got to take the 3 points there. You've got to take the 3 points there. It's 3-0. You tie the game, and right then you could have changed some momentum maybe, but they go for it on 4th down, and Herbert throws an incomplete pass. I mean, he was rushed and pressured. He was rushed to his right. He's not healthy, so, he wasn't running maybe as well as Justin Herbert usually runs. He threw an incomplete pass into the end zone, and after getting the ball at the 11-yard line, and they get nothing. They don't even get 3 points. A big momentum swing for the Patriots in that game. The game was 16-3, but it seemed like the Patriots were in control the whole way. It seemed like they were in control the entire way. And listen, Drake May struggled early on. He threw the pick, which really wasn't his fault. Okay? But he also, as they were in scoring range, they were inside the 30-yard line and driving on the Chargers, and Drake was sacked, and he did fumble, and that also took points off the board for the Patriots. So it could have been worse. I don't think 16-3 is indicative of the of as bad as it was, but I mean at 6-3 though, he makes a throw to his tight end, Hunter Henry. Okay, this was a world-class laser rope. Okay, this was a world-class laser rope from about 25-30 yards out. It was just a beautiful pass, and that was it was 9-3 at this point, and still the game was hanging in the balance, but you never really thought the Chargers were going to be able to mount anything. I mean, you never really did, because they just couldn't get anything going offensively. Now, Herbert was not, he had no help. Herbert ran the ball 10 times for 57 yards, and a lot of them were bruising runs where he was just getting hit at the end of these runs. Justin's got to learn to slide or get out of bounds a little more, but he was playing banged up. He's missing his 2 tackles on his offensive line. Ladd McConkey had 3 catches for 32 yards. Oronde Gadsden Jr. there, or the second, had 3 catches for 30 yards. And that was basically it. Keenan Allen, 3 for 25. Not enough weapons. They couldn't run the football. Vidal only 11 for 31. He was their whole offense. 159 yards passing, 57 yards rushing. It wasn't enough. And he was sacked 6 times and hit a zillion times. Herbert was sacked 6 times. But it wasn't until Drake May's beautiful laser to Hunter Henry in the 4th quarter to make the game 16-3 where it was iced. It was iced right there. But it was, like I said, 9-3 rolling into the 4th quarter. And May played great. It would have been worse. He had the fumble when they were in scoring range, which hurt, because that would have been another 3 or 7 points. And May also had 10 carries for 66 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 for 53. Henderson had 9 for 27. Patriots did run the ball for 146 yards, but 10 for 66 from Drake May. 268 yards passing, 66 yards rushing, and the 1 touchdown laser, and the 1 pick. Again, that wasn't his fault. So Drake May survives his first playoff start, and after being a little shaky early, really looked great. And now he's got this under his belt, and that's more power to the Patriots and for the Patriots. Mike Vrabel just did a fantastic job. If anybody thought these guys were going to be one and done, they were wrong. I know they didn't play a lot of quality opponents. Buffalo, probably their only quality win of the season. But you know what? The Chargers have a big-time defense, so that's another quality win. Even though the Chargers' offense was hampered, they do have a good defense. Their defense did play well in the game, more so in the first half. But you never really thought the Chargers were going to be able to mount anything offensively. If you're a Patriot fan, you might have been a little tight because it's 9-3 going in the 4th quarter, but I don't think you ever thought the Chargers could mount a drive. They were that inept on offense. I mean, Herbert got hit every time he touched the ball. Again, 6 sacks by the Patriot defense. So that is it, 16-3. The Patriots move on, and they will stay at home playing the winner of the Houston Texans Pittsburgh Steelers game tonight. We're going to get to that game right now. Before I get out of here, listen. The spread is 3 points. It is still 3 points. It opened at 3.5. I'm not picking this game tonight. The over-under is 38.5. You know what? What the hell? Why not? Why not pick the damn game? We're going to pick the game. We're going to take the Steelers, and we're going to take the under. We're going to tease the under from 38.5 to 44.5. Okay? We're taking Pittsburgh plus 9 and under 44.5. The big Houston Texans defense is going to keep this a low-scoring game. I like the Steelers getting points at home. I'm not sure that they're going to win the game, but if I tease the game, I think the Steelers will keep it within 9 points, and I think this game is like a 24-20, a 20-17 defensive slugfest, which would put that at under 44.5, which I'm getting via the teaser. Now, do I think Pittsburgh's going to win the game outright? No, I don't. Matter of fact, I'll take Houston with the money line, minus 150. I'll lay 150 to win 100 with the Texans. I think the Texans are going to find a way to squeak out a victory here, 20-17, 19-17, 24-20. So I'll take Houston on the money line tonight, and I'll take Pittsburgh plus 9.5 and under 44.5. That's what I'm taking. So the Steelers and the under in a teaser. I'm going to take Houston money line. You know what? We're going to take the over 38.5 because I think this is going to fall right in that 24. Now, you know what? Scratch that. I can still see 2017. Not taking the over-under. So Pittsburgh plus 9 and under 44.5 in a teaser, and Houston money line. Those are my 2 picks tonight. We'll see how I do. I'm 3-6 this week. Why not bet 2 more games? What the hell? I'm definitely not calling that into the book, though. This game could go either way. I don't feel super confident about any of it, especially after the week I just had. 5-0 in college the last 2 weeks. But 3-6 in the NFL this week. That's where we're at. Enjoy the Steelers tonight, and the Texans should be a great game. All the games have been fantastic. That's why you love the NFL playoffs. They've all been exciting and drama and down to the wire. It's what you want from NFL football. It's why you love NFL football. My name is Billy DiNapoli. Thank you for watching NASR. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow Billy DiNapoli on Facebook. Please, you can also scan the little code there in the bottom right there, and you can subscribe just like that. You can also donate to our little Venmo and Cash App fund. It helps us keep the show going. We put a lot of work into this. It's appreciated. Again, like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and follow and like us on Facebook at both North American Sports Report and my personal page, Billy DiNapoli. I do lots of content on my Billy DiNapoli personal page and Instagram. So check out Billy DiNapoli on those forums. And again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name is Billy DiNapoli. Thank you for watching NASR. We will see you this week. Obviously, we've got college football playoffs, but not until next Monday. So we won't be on probably. Let's see. Hold on a second. You know what? We'll get you right now. Let's check and see if they have the schedule up for the games. Divisional round. All right. Hold on one second here. Oh, we've got opening lines. We've got opening lines. Okay, here we go. So, January 17th, that is Saturday. The Niners and the Seahawks play. That's the 1 o'clocker. The Niners open as a 7-point underdog. So the Seahawks are -7. That is Saturday. That's the first game. Actually, you know what? These times are not final. So, okay, I have the date. They don't have the times are not final. So, they don't have the schedule out yet, but here's the lines in the matchup. So, the Niners at Seahawks. The Seahawks are a 7-point favorite. The Bills and Broncos, and I called it. I said this would be about a 1.5-point spread, and it is, except I thought it would be Denver minus 1.5. The Bills are favored by 1.5 over the Broncos in Denver. The Rams are favored on the road at Chicago, minus 3.5. So they do say this. The Niners and Seahawks and Bills and Broncos are Saturday night. Or Saturday. One will be day. They haven't put the times up here yet. I would think one will be 1 o'clock and one will be 4:30. I don't think they're going to go 4:30 and 8 o'clock divisional round, but I might be wrong. So just check your local listings. So Saturday you're going to have the Niners and the Seahawks. Seahawks minus 7. You're going to have the Bills and the Broncos. Bills minus 1.5 favored at Denver. Sunday's games will be the Rams and the Bears. The Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. And that's all they have right now. They don't have the schedule for the New England versus the winner of Houston-Pittsburgh. So, but that looks like that'll be on a Sunday as well. So your Sunday games will be New England versus whoever wins tonight and Rams-Bears. And your Saturday games are Niners-Seahawks and Bills-Broncos. That's it. After tonight, you'll be down to the final 8. The final 8 in the NFL after tonight. Well, enjoy tonight's game. I'm Billy DiNapoli, and I'm out of here. Thanks for watching NASR. And so you'll see me Saturday morning, because we got no other football-related business to cover until Saturday morning. I'll be back Saturday morning. I'm not going to do any hockey stuff this week, but after this football stuff's over, we're going to do a lot of hockey, and we'll even do some we'll even do some NBA, as much as I really loathe the NBA in a league where no one plays defense. It's just shuck and chuck and dunk. Anyway, we'll do college hoops too, which I actually do like. So, have a good night, guys.